Thank you to everyone joining the March edition of the Polkadot Community Call. We have a packed agenda today. To kick things off, we have Council Member Raul, as always, to give us an update of all the Treasury motions and referenda and proposals that happened on Polkadot and Kusama this past month. We have Tamaj joining us from OriginTrail to talk about their teleport completion, them bringing knowledge assets to Polkadot and boosting network effects. We have Alan Vey joining us from Aventus today to talk about launching their lowering DApp and their partnership announcements and their finalized mainnet integration. We also have Alexi joining us today from Interlay to talk about the launch of the Kintsugi Bitcoin DeFi Hub. We have Unique Network joining us today to talk about their SDKs and their NFT XCM functionality. We have Hutch and Bob joining us from Zeitgeist today to give an overview of, to announce that Zeitgeist has moved to Polkadot. I'm sorry for breaking that, but congratulations. And also building with Zeitgeist SDK 2.0. StellaSwap is joining us today to talk about the launch of multi-swap and also farm transitions. And last but certainly not least, we have Web3 Go, or also, I'm going to pronounce this wrong because it's the first time I'm saying it, but Cumulon Protocol. Please pronounce that when it's your turn to talk. Yes, that they've officially launched, as well as a basic intro to their product. So without further ado, let's hand it over to Raul.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is having a good day. My name is Raul. I'm part of the Polkadot Council, and I'm a member of the Kusama network community. And I'm here to give you an update on the most interesting proposals on the governance side and on Treasury that have happened in the last month. As usual, I will divide the list into Kusama network and Polkadot network, and within those into governance proposals and treasury proposals. So let's start with Kusama. On the governance side of Kusama, I'd like to point out two particular proposals, one that is out and one that is already been executed. The first one that I want to talk about is the Kusama Runtime Upgrade 938. This is a batch proposal to upgrade the runtime on the relay chain and on the system parachains. What's particularly interesting on this proposal that is up for vote right now, so you can review the contextual information on Polk Assembly and cast your vote there or in any of the forums or using any of the wallets that have governance available, is that this runtime upgrade includes the upgrade to XCM v3, which is the reason why we, as a community, have given more time to parachain teams to get ready for this particular release and to make sure that they test everything and they're on the safe side when XCM v3 is deployed on Kusama relay chain. However, remember that Kusama is an experimental network, so a lot of chaos can happen. Be aware that the runtime upgrade is scheduled, if approved by the community, to be enacted at block 17,335,450. This is approximately on the 4th of April. The second governance proposal I want to discuss today is a proposal that has been already executed and is a new batch of HRMP channels on Kusama relay chain between StateMine, the system parachain on Kusama, and Amplitude, MangataX, Imbue, Tinkernet, and GM parachain. These 5 parachains requested HRMP channels opening with StateMine, and so this referendum accepted and opened return channels with the following batch call: a forced transfer asking Treasury to pay for the StateMine sovereign account, a force open HRMP channel from StateMine to each of the parachains, and a force open HRMP channel from each of the parachains to StateMine. This was already executed and it's already working. With regards to Kusama Treasury, I want to advise or suggest everyone to join the discussions in the Direction channel and in all of the discussion forums that we have in place. There is a very interesting discussion going on regarding reputation and the possibilities to request funding from the Kusama Treasury, and what are the conditions the community thinks this proposal should fulfill in order to request funding. This was a discussion that was initiated by many community members in the Direction channel, and that is mostly right now taking place on the episode of Attempts to Governance, which happens every Monday, and that is organized by the folks of the Kusamarians. So I want to thank them for organizing this particular interesting discussion. Make sure to participate and to review the information and to give your voice and participate on the Direction channels and in the episodes. Regarding Kusama Treasury proposal, the first one that I would like to mention is a proposal that is up for vote right now. It's referendum 133, the maintenance of Web3Alert.io for Kusama and Polkadot integrations for the next 12 months. Web3 Alert is an application, a tool that allows you to get notification on any events happening on the relay chain and on the parachains. The team has been working very hard to make it customizable and to support Telegram, Slack, and Discord as receiving channels. So make sure to review the proposal, to review the budget and the roadmap, and at the same time to vote on it on open governance. The second proposal I want to talk about is a particularly interesting proposal for a bounty program that was submitted by a group of parachains. This is the Parachain Assets Fiat On-Ramp Support Bounty Program. This was submitted by Interlay on behalf of a group of parachains. And this bounty program is intended to help as many parachains as possible in establishing an easy and a secure solution for native token on-ramp. They have chosen Bangsa as their on-ramp service provider, and the bounty will be able to cover, if accepted, each of the parachains that presented the proposal for native asset support, and the state mine support and on-ramp support for Kusama native USD stablecoins. So make sure you check this proposal. The number is 131 and it's up for vote right now. And then I want to talk about as the last treasury proposal that I have found very interesting this cycle on Kusama Relay Chain is referendum 124, which is right now on confirmation phase. This is the Polkagate second milestone. Polkagate extension is a user-friendly extension and wallet that allows you to interact with Polkadot, substrate-based blockchains, and Kusama. The extension allows users to access the ecosystem accounts, and they can also interact with the centralized applications. They've already finished with milestone 1 a while ago. This includes, among other things, the very basic functionality for a wallet on a substrate-based chain, including pool staking, solo staking, transfer funds, view balance, view transactions history, parachain accounts, ledger support, and whatnot. And this particular proposal, Referendum 124, aims to cover milestone 2 of this particular project, including identity management, open governance integration, light client integration, which is a very interesting feature, social recovery, and other updates. You can check the budget, the roadmap, and all of the milestones in Polk Assembly or on Subsquare. Let's move to Polkadot. On Polkadot, I'm also going to divide, for structure purposes, the proposals into governance proposal and treasury proposals. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is a proposal that was being voted up to this morning as referendum number 111. This was already approved by the community and executed. This proposal aimed to change the configuration of 3 operations, particularly on the fast and stake palette, on the staking palette, and on the nomination pools palette. What this particular proposal did is increase the minimum number of tokens to create a nomination pool from 200 DOT to 500 DOTs, increase the bond size required to become a direct nominator from 100 DOTs to 200 DOTs, enable fast staking on Polkadot, something that was already tested on Kusama before, increase the number of validator candidates from 1,200 to 1,500, and increase the number of pools to 256. As I said before, you can find the contextual information of this proposal under referendum 111 on Polk Assembly or on Subsquare. This proposal was already executed this morning. Proposal referendum 109, which was already also passed and executed, scheduled the auctions for the year 2023. This proposal suggested 2 auctions in LP12 and LP13 each, and then followed by 7 auctions on LP14 and LP15 in a total of 18 auctions until the end of the year. This will ensure all auctions are properly scheduled. You can see all of the schedule in the Scheduler tab on Polkadot.js apps for the community to continue including more parachains and allowing those that are already connected to renew their slots in 2023. Then the third proposal I want to talk about within the governance proposal is referendum 106, a proposal that was already passed at the end of last month. This is a new batch of HRMP channels for Hydra DX, Capex, Ajuna, Pendulum, and Linton Tree. In the same way as it happened on Kusama, this proposal had also 3 calls, and it was already passed and enacted by the community. With regards to Polkadot Treasury, please make sure to join the Polkadot Direction channel if you want to keep being updated on the new Treasury proposals that are submitted for the community and council members to review and vote. The most interesting ones for me throughout the month was Motion 357 for Multics. This is a simple interface to manage complex multisigs and developed by ChainSafe. ChainSafe has already built an early version of this particular application, and with this motion, the council approved a request to fund the development of new features for the next 5 months. So congratulations to the team on that. And then we had also Motion 358. This is for funding a conference, the first ever Polkadot conference in India, Polkadot Now India 2023. The website is already up, and you can visit all of the content, the schedule, the location on polkadotnowindia.com, and also check the roadmap and the budget on Polk Assembly or Subsquare under Motion 358. Congratulations to the team on that. I also want to talk about another conference, Motion 367, approved and executed the first milestone to start organizing the Polkadot Developers Conference, or Sub-Zero Europe. As we all know, many of us have attended Sub-Zero Conference last year in Lisbon. This year, it will be in the same location, but in the month of September. This is organized by Brain Surfers, an events agency that works tightly with the ecosystem in order to provide this type of global conference for parachains, application teams building on top of them, and infrastructure teams that want to attend this particular conference. The last edition took place in LX Factory in Lisbon, and many teams, among others, Web3 Foundation, Parity, Apelon, Fala Network, A-Star, Manta, were in representation of the entire Polkadot ecosystem. They were very interesting talks there, so make sure you are aware that this is happening this year as well. This particular motion covers milestone 1, which will allow the events team to ensure the venue and the first allocation for service providers. And then I want to talk about bounty proposal voted by motion 361, which is the Polkadot Education Bounty. The Polkadot Education Bounty is a bounty that aims to provide scholarships for developers that aim to attend courses and formal seminars in the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, but cannot do it financially for different reasons. This particular proposal focus on various seminars and courses happening throughout the year. So please make sure to check on the proposal. Particularly on this bounty proposal, the proposal was approved by council, but given there was an issue with the call on the motion, the proposal was not able to execute successfully. The same has happened with other bounty proposals. The issue was already identified, it's been merged, and once it is fixed on chain, we will pass this among other bounty proposals that were approved to be voted by the council and the community in order to approve them. That's all from my side. Make sure to join the direction channels, check bulk assembly and Subsquare, and join the discussions in order to review and vote on proposals. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul. Up next, we have OriginTrail.
Hey everyone, this is Tomas from OriginTrail. Hope all of you had a good month. Just for the benefit of maybe the newcomers to the community calls, a quick intro into OriginTrail. We are an ecosystem focused on knowledge exchange, and we achieve that by transforming knowledge into an AI-grade knowledge assets and make them discoverable and verifiable for what is a fundamental goal that we pursue, a more sustainable global economy. And if we do take a kind of add more color to this new resource for the internet called the knowledge asset, it allows you basically to take any type of knowledge, whether that's knowledge that is that you want to have be public. Let's say you're bragging about your product, so that's one type of knowledge, or it's something, or about your NFT, like a digital asset, or it's something that's more protected, like some your personal knowledge or business sensitive information. All of these things can become knowledge assets, and with that they also get some cool new features like integrity of the knowledge that's a part of the knowledge asset. They become discoverable. They can be owned, which is another important thing, because it opens up a lot of new business models, as well as they can be they're composable, so you can attach them together, since all of those knowledge assets also share a common basically infrastructure, or they live in the same place, called the decentralized knowledge graph, or the OriginTrail DKG, as is more commonly referred to. So as far as our updates go for the March period, it's been a busy period for us, since we've achieved an important milestone by teleporting a 100 million of track from Ethereum to Polkadot parachain, so to the OriginTrail parachain, which is very important because those track tokens that came from Ethereum to Polkadot are there to be used for utility to really power this knowledge asset hub on Polkadot. And it's quite a big kind of support from OriginTrail community, since this 100 million of track actually means that that's 20% of the total emission of track, and roughly, I think, over 25% of the circulating supply. So yeah, a very important vote of confidence towards the Polkadot knowledge asset hub that is the OriginTrail parachain from the OT community. Of course, we're excited also to see as the year progresses how the multi-chain vision of OriginTrail on Polkadot will continue, and how we'll see more and more knowledge assets get created on there. And speaking of that, we've also seen in March already that the total number of knowledge assets on OriginTrail has passed 150,000, and so those are the assets basically on OriginTrail, knowledge assets on OriginTrail parachain. And the more knowledge assets we see get created, the more network effects we get to see as well. Speaking of network effects, earlier this month we've had a very interesting Twitter Spaces happening with a couple of people that are also on this call. There's C Saint and Trini. Both of them joined in the discussion with one of the Web 1 internet pioneers, Dr. Bob Metcalf, who also happens to be the formulator of the law of the network effects, and of course the founder of 3Com company that invented the Ethernet. He also just recently received the what is called the Nobel Prize for Computer Science, the Turing Award. So a quick congrats for him on that side. But of all these titles, the one that I'm most excited about, just purely egoistically, is because he's also one of our advisors. So that's pretty cool. And if you do want to hear it from the proverbial horse's mouth about how really network effects in Web3 and OriginTrail will make an impact, you're more than welcome to stop by OriginTrail's Twitter profile and scoop up where that exciting hour and a little bit of conversation is. So what we have coming up, well, as it stands, so by the next hanging out in our community call next month, we're going to have not one, but probably quite two exciting updates as a new project is aimed that there's going to be introducing quite a sizable group of knowledge assets on OriginTrail and OriginTrail parachain. And that's going to be paired with a solution showcase that will showcase basically how the AI grade property of knowledge assets can be leveraged, which is another thing that holds a lot of promise and a lot of adoption. So I think that we see a lot of the even existing use cases that are happening on that are transforming towards the knowledge asset future, like the bigger companies that are in OriginTrail ecosystem already, like the British Standards Institution, the Home Depot, Costco, and Walmart, that all of them use this backbone to create knowledge assets that are important for their operations. We'll see more and more happen as well, and pairing it up with exciting new technologies that are coming up is looking pretty cool. Again, thanks for having us, and looking forward to the next one.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Hutch. I was like genuinely confused where that came from. Apologies.
Awesome.
That like shocks me. I was like, what did Elon do? Anyways, apologies all. Guys, I'm in the process of losing my voice, but I am penning to the space the tweets that Tomas mentioned from OriginTrail. And as more of our guests speak, they also have tweets being penned. So make sure to check those out if you want to hear more information about what they're all talking about. So without further ado, we have Aventus, and hopefully afterwards, Hutch will clap for them as well.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was also confused. I had no idea what was going on. Hey, everybody. This is Alan from Aventus. I'm the founder of Aventus. For those of you who don't know us, our mission is all about onboarding enterprises to Web3. So we're very much focused on that segment and kind of delivering that into the ecosystem via the Aventus parachain. So a few updates since the last time we kind of gave a community-wide update like this. In the last months, let's start on the client front. We've got two sort of interesting client partnerships that have recently been released. The one is, of course, in collaboration with Polkadot. I'm sure many of you will have seen that with Beatport. So we are helping to deliver a white label NFT product to them. I think they've got about 50 million users, about 100,000 different artist labels. This is sort of a multi-year deal where they got all kinds of exciting functionality that they want to roll out on their marketplace, which we are helping them deliver. So that's really been an exciting one. The team's kicked off, and we are working towards a launch over the, well, I don't think I can announce exactly when, but over the next, should we say, couple months. Then we also announced our deal with Nexus Technologies. So Nexus is a business in the States which essentially reduces the banking rates. So you essentially take, on average, a 3% charge that you would pay on a transaction down to point-something%. They have a whole, currently I believe it's a private or a permissioned blockchain infrastructure, and we have helped them to see the way of why the Polkadot ecosystem and interoperability in a public ecosystem is so valuable. So we're pushing that one forward with them. Then on the marketing front, we've had a couple, well, really one thing to talk about since last time. We hosted an enterprise blockchain roundtable recently. So we had Peter Ruchatz, the obviously Chief Marketing Officer at Polkadot. He joined. Laurie Thomas, who's an SVP at a telco. She looks after their sort of Fortune 100 companies. Walter Koch, who some of you might know, was involved in Energy Web and has recently joined onto Aventus as well, and formerly a telco guy as well with Vodafone and whatnot. So we had a bit of a chat around the enterprise world. So if any of you are interested in hearing a bit more detail, that's obviously we've set that up through our socials for anybody to catch up on if they're interested. And then obviously conference circuit. So hopefully I'll be able to meet many more of you over the coming month. We'll be at NFT NYC launching a new film project we're bringing to the ecosystem. So lots more coming on that front. Then at CoinDesk as well, as part of the Polkadot booth. Definitely see some of you there. Then we've got Metal Innovation Summit. Again, this is an enterprise get-together. So lots happening in April. And finally, just talk on the tech a little bit more. So this quarter, we have greatly improved our interoperability with the wider Polkadot ecosystem. That included integrations with Polkadot.js. Obviously, our mainnet and public testnets are completely integrated as well now, and more working towards wallet integration. So I believe Nova is the first wallet that we've integrated with as well. Finally, we have pushed forward the decentralization of the Aventus network. So now anybody can lift and lower assets from Ethereum into the Aventus network and anything kind of EBM based. So really moving towards that vision of ultimately having everything community driven and open sourced, which we hope to get to next quarter. So that concludes my update today. Thanks for listening, and hopefully see you guys in our community soon.
Great, thank you. And while you were speaking, we have investigated what happened, and I think every listener should know because you guys will all find yourself in this position. But it was Elon, but it was also Hutch. In the lower right-hand corner next to the people icon, there's a little wand, or it shows up as a wand with like a little castle. And then it says soundboard. And if you click the clapping emoji, you might think that an emoji might pop up, like Hutch thought, but it will actually clap. So I don't know what all the other emojis do down there. If you guys want to use this call to find out, you absolutely can. But just so you guys know, because I think everyone should know what those do. So up next, without further ado, we have Alexei from Interlay.
Hey everyone, this is Alexei. For those of you who are new to the community call, very briefly, what's Interlay? What do we do? So Interlay is a Polkadot parachain. We also have a canary network on Kusama called Kintsugi. We've been building on Polkadot since, I think, 3.5 years now, which is quite a while. We initially started building the decentralized Bitcoin bridge for Polkadot, and then essentially launched as a parachain, and now have built a DeFi hub on top of that. So what Interlay does, it extends Bitcoin functionality. It provides access to DeFi, NFTs, Web3 identity, everything, all the cool stuff that all these teams are building on Polkadot and other networks. Interlay provides access to these tools for Bitcoin holders. Interlay's decentralized bridge has been live for over a year. It has processed around $16 million in volume, and is now steadily increasing because we have now launched a DeFi layer on top of Kintsugi. It has been in a closed beta for the last week, and I'm happy to announce that if you go to kintsugi.interlay.io, you will now be able to access a decentralized exchange and decentralized lending protocol tailored to Bitcoin with essentially assets available being KSM, KBTC, which is the decentralized Bitcoin version of Kusama, USDT, and Kint, with more interesting products going live over the next couple of weeks. So why did we launch this DeFi hub? Well, the reason is that by only being an infrastructure project, we essentially could not leverage the trust that we've built up in the Bitcoin community. So a lot of people were very worried about using bridges to other protocols, even if it's under the same shared security model and so on. And in the end, we followed the feedback from a lot of Bitcoin holders and Bitcoin users to provide them with some basic tools so they can borrow, lend, trade, and essentially just get some basic tooling for their BTC. And for those who are more sophisticated, who are degen, they can then go to all these other applications that we have on Polkadot. And this way we can onboard more users directly to Interlay, build deeper liquidity for BTC in the Polkadot ecosystem. And then once these people are in the ecosystem, once we've onboarded them, it's much easier for other projects to essentially get hold of these users and offer them additional
So today I had
products
the
and
pleasure of
services.
visiting the John Lewis Spring Summer 23
So
preview.
if you're interested, go try it out. Again,
This
it's on
interior direction is much
kintsugi.interlay.io.
simplified, showcasing its two looks,
And
modern and
obviously,
classic.
maybe in 30
Modern is full of
seconds,
statement
what's
design
next for
pieces and
Interlay?
has a warm neutral
So
palette
now
and
that
lots of
we've
dark
launched on
colours.
Kintsugi, the
Classic
next
is
step
fresh
is
and
to
joyfully
deploy the
bold, with
whole
layers of
hub
pattern
on
and
the
colour.
Interlay
My
network.
favourite
This will
pieces
happen
from
in the next probably 1 to 2 months. We're doing a major UX overhaul and working on essentially one-click strategies, so wrapping some of the functionality that where you have to do multiple clicks into one click, so minimizing the effort that a user needs to bring Bitcoin into the ecosystem. I'll skip the details on which products exactly, but you'll be able to follow this on Twitter. In addition, we're working on significant improvements to the bridge itself. So you'll see some pretty interesting things coming out that will include explorations into threshold signatures and hardware security modules, and further integrations for the bridge operators to, on one hand, improve security, and on the other hand, make it easier to integrate some of the larger node operators in the ecosystem so that we can scale the bridge faster and keep up with the demand. And last but not least, I think Raul already mentioned this, but just also to highlight again, we see on-ramps into the ecosystem as being very, very important. And this is why we've been working on closing the Banksta deal for the ecosystem for the last 4 months. And you can expect for other deals in that direction coming out over the next couple of months. So our goal is not only to get Bitcoin into the ecosystem, but basically act as an on and off-ramp solution for Bitcoin holders, but also make it much, much easier for new users to enter the ecosystem. Banksta providing a fiat on and off-ramp to native parachains was the first step. So Banksta will allow users to purchase and get access to the gas token of each network directly, like on the platform through credit cards. So you don't have to figure out from which exchange you have to withdraw the token. Users don't have to register with different exchanges. They just go register with Banksta, and for some low amounts, I think you don't even need KYC, which obviously makes on-ramping much easier. And then this deal also includes KSM/DOT, and then also USDT, and hopefully in the future USDC on-ramps directly into parachains. So essentially, you'll be able to get KSM.USDT/USDC directly into the user's parachain accounts. For this, we still need to improve the XCM routing functionality, but we can expect this to go live over the next couple of months. And with that, I think I'm done for today. Please do check out the Intel Twitter account and also go to kintsugi.interlay.io to experience truly decentralized Bitcoin DeFi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexi. And I've also pinned that tweet to the chat. So if you guys want to head over to their socials and learn more about that, you absolutely can just check the tweet at the top. Now, without further ado, on the soundboard, there's a drum and it appears like a drum roll. So let's see if this works, but also no one get scared. All right, so up next we have Hutch from Zeitgeist.
I believe I'm stepping in for Hutch from Zeitgeist. Well, that's actually matter, but
apologies. We have Bob from Zeitgeist.
Thank you for that great introduction. Yep, I'm Bob from Zeitgeist. For those who don't know about us, we are a protocol for prediction markets, and we've also built a application that's live now for prediction markets. And as you may have heard earlier, the biggest update for us is we have recently completed our migration to Polkadot. And what this means for us is we get to move into the next phase of building, which is very exciting. What you can expect to see is a much more aggressive tone in the ecosystem, and seeing Zeitgeist pop up in a lot of different places. Moving to Polkadot has enabled us to really start to open up ETCM channels and start to really leverage the magic that's there. So one of the top priorities for us is building towards user access, right? And ETCM channels obviously helped us a lot. We're moving very quickly on DEX listings, particularly with Hydra coming up. And we are also moving forward on the Bangsa integration to really try to help to remove the friction from the user process. Another thing that's pretty cool is we've been working really, really hard on the front end for our application, and we're nearing a state of completion, which is just great, along with the migration of Polkadot. And so that's sort of the internal summary of what we're looking at for next steps, is really just getting the channels open and getting integrated into the ecosystem in a meaningful way. But beyond that, we've also recently completed and released documentation for our SDK v2. So we're super excited about this. A big focus for us is helping people to build on the network and create their own applications that are built around prediction markets. And we're seeing some good examples come out already. We have some pretty strong conversations going on and progress being made with different builders in the ecosystem. Some of them have come from just the community channels, just hanging out in the Discord. And some of them have come from the hackathons that are going on in the ecosystem. So this is another point that I wanted to make. Something that you will see a lot of Zeitgeist logos at is the various hackathons that are going on. We're pushing really, really hard and trying to find builders in the ecosystem to come over and build on Zeitgeist. So definitely keep your eyes open at any sort of hackathon that you hear about. If you're a builder in the ecosystem and you're interested in prediction markets and you want to come over here, we're very friendly. And we'd love to just take people and help them make their project a reality. So you'll be seeing us in hackathons like the Consensus Hackathon and Code Hackathon. I believe we're doing one in India somewhere. There's a lot of them going on, right? But beyond that, even just people who are interested in getting involved in the space and want to take a project and move with it, preferably around prediction markets, right? But like, this is an open invitation to come down and join our Discord and just get involved. You don't have to be technically inclined, but we're definitely making a really strong push towards helping to identify strong projects and builders in the ecosystem and help to enable them to move forward with that, right? So yeah, Zeitgeist coming to Polkadot really sort of opens up the net space and growth for us as an entire ecosystem. And yeah, it's just really, really exciting. So really glad to be able to share it with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God. That scared me. Thank you, Bob. I was gonna say tapping into the magic should be Polkadot's new tagline. Like, what is XCM? It's just tapping into the magic. You know, what is shared security? Just tapping into the magic. All right. Up next. Hold on, I have to pick my song too. I don't know what all of these do. I guess we'll play it safe. Up next we have StellaSwap.
Hey, thanks for the intro. Hey everyone, my name is Aziz. I'm the co-founder of StellaSwap. So this is the first time I'm here. So glad to meet everyone. So just a quick intro to StellaSwap. We're a hybrid DEX on Moonbeam. We're the largest DEX on Moonbeam that features like 3 kinds of AMM. under one roof. We have a standard, stable, and the recently launched concentrated liquidity AMM called Pulsar to facilitate the most optimal price discovery for assets. So, I mean, last month we were glad to reach a milestone to be like the first DEX on Polkadot that surpassed $1 billion of trading volume since inception. So we're really excited about that and really motivated to keep going and to keep innovating. So since the start of this year, we've been crazy busy with the launch of Pulsar on Moonbeam, which would spearhead greater capital efficiency. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the power of V3, with Uniswap. And that sets us up nicely for a sustainable future, right? Because the dependence winning away from rewards and emissions and towards a more organic form of APRs, which is street fees. So to date, we've listed lots of native assets from our parachains like Fala Network, Akela, Eastar, and hopefully Interlay coming up, right? And also we're beginning to transit the blue chip farms from our standard AMM, which is called V2, to Pulsar, ahead of the next cycle of ecosystem grants, which is just around the corner. I'm going to give an update on that. So just three main updates for us. Number one is that we recently launched our multi-swap router, which is something that we've worked on for like 6 months, right? So that's quite a heavy endeavor for us. So I mean, the reason behind doing a multi-swap router was because we have three AMMs, and each AMM is like a silo, right? So the issue is users, to make a trade, right? For example, if you want a star token using BUSD, I mean, you have to trade manually across several AMMs. So that's very inefficient, right? So in order to sort of like unify the liquidity, what we did was to work on a multi-swap router that allows us to tap on liquidity across all three AMMs in an automated way. How we're different from like the likes of typical aggregators, how our solution is different from typical aggregators like 1inch or Paraswap is that they use their solution is centered around like swap splitting, basically breaking down a swap and executing them into several AMMs to really optimize for pricing, for the reduction of price impact, right? That works for a specific AMM model, for example, V2 across different trading avenues. But for us, it's a bit different. The context of us is different given that we have three different AMM models, and therefore, what we came up with is like a multi-swap approach, right? Which is sort of like a reference from Uniswap's latest Permit to standard, right? That just launched at the start of the year. So, which is basically a token approval contract, right? That can safely share and manage token approvals across different smart contracts. So, in general, right, why that multi-router is awesome is number one is it automates the trades for users across the AMMs with the lowest slippage, right? Which unifies liquidity. Secondly, on the UX point of view, users can save gas and trade fees because they only need to pay one-time gas fees to approve token for trading. Right, so that's very cool on the simplifying of the user experience. And the third thing is very important about security. With permit to, we can enhance security through two things, right? Which is signature-based transfers, which is basically bypassing setting allowances. And second is expiring approvals, which can be time-bound, and thereby removing security concerns around hanging approvals, right? And lastly, I think what we're interested beyond the use case of automated routing, right, is Permit2 allows us to sort of like work towards a gasless future, which is a very interesting use case from Permit2 that can see us radically sort of like streamlining user experience and onboarding, where they don't need to have gas, right, to interact on say Moonbeam. So that is something that we're really excited to have, as future proofing our solution. So our protocol, sorry. So that's the first update, multi-swap router. The second is that ahead, I mean, On Moonbeam right now, we're sort of like finalizing or rounding up the community governance for the next round of ecosystem grants. For context, StellaSwap was one out of two protocols on the previous cycle that got an ecosystem grant, and now we're in the lead to get another round of ecosystem grants for the transition to V3 Pulsar. So that's why we're already beginning the transition of our blue chip farms from V2 to V3 right now. We just launched a migrator tool like a few days ago to really simplify the conversion of V2 LP to Pulsar LP so that users don't have to break their LP and then restate on Pulsar. So that's kind of a neat tool to simplify the entire transition process. So just in terms of timeline, when the new grants will come on Moonbeam, and I hope that you guys are excited by this as well, is around the whole voting will end in the next week, and therefore the first week of April we can hopefully see the new ecosystem grants on Moonbeam, so you guys can be prepared for great activity or opportunities across this space. I think, and that's the second sort of update. And the last is something we'd like to share on with regards to cross-chain swaps, which we launched at the start of February with Axela and Squid. They're doing great work with regards to GMP and cross-chain swaps. So we're happy to share that based on on-chain data since our launch, Moonbeam is basically the top destination route for cross-chain swaps. So this means that users are sort of like swapping across from other networks, L1s and L2s, to Moonbeam, and that facilitates like a greater capital inflow towards Polkadot, right? So to date, the cumulative sort of like swap volume to Moonbeam has been 1.6 million, which is the highest across other networks like Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, BSC. So that is something that we're really excited on and really hope to scale further with the help of the ecosystem, because cross-chain swaps it really abstracts the DeFi experience because users don't need to do bridging, right? It's just like a normal swap, but you can sort of like transfer value across blockchain networks effortlessly. So that is something we're really, really excited on. And yeah, I think to sum up, we're really excited to start notching up the gear on Pulsar. Given that we're transiting now, and we do hope that any projects that are interested to sort of like list their tokens, in a very sustainable way without pushing crazy amount of incentives, please feel free to reach out, and we can sort of like work towards creating a market for native assets across Polkadot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Web3 Go.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me here. I'm thrilled to announce the official launch of Cumulon, a one-stop multi-parent chain staking and asset management solution for the Polkadot ecosystem. Cumulon is designed to simplify the staking and management of assets across different parachains, making it easy for anyone to participate in the Polkadot ecosystem. We believe that this simplicity will help promote adoption and increase participation in the network. Our goal is to provide a seamless and user-friendly experience for staking and managing assets across different parachains with just one click. We are proud to say that Cumulon has already onboarded several parachains, including Moonbeam Network, Moonriver Network, Lightning Tree, Bifrost, Oak Network, and Calamari Network. These integrations demonstrate our commitment to the Polkadot ecosystem, and of course, we're excited to continue working with other parachains in the future. One of the most exciting features of Cumulon is our new user interface. We designed it to be intuitive and easy to use, so anyone can start staking and managing their assets without any technical skills or knowledge. Plus, it supports both Polkadot.js and MetaMask, so users can connect both wallets to Cumulon at the same time. Cumulon also provides detailed information on APY, leaderboards for collators and delegators of each parachain, historical data for individual addresses, and rewards predictions by simulation. We believe this information will help users make informed decisions about their staking strategy and maximize their returns. Our platform is designed to help users achieve their financial goals while minimizing risks. But we're not stopping there. Cumulon has exciting new parachain integrations to be announced in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for more information. We also have a long-term roadmap for liquidity management and DeFi protocols, which you can find on our Twitter and YouTube channels. These developments will continue to enhance the user experience within the Polkadot ecosystem. We believe Cumulon will play a vital role in the growth and development of the Polkadot ecosystem by simplifying staking and asset management. We hope to attract more users and increase participation in the network. Our mission is to make the Polkadot ecosystem accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical expertise. So, in conclusion, we want to thank Polkadot's community for your support and trust in Cumulon Protocol. We are excited to be part of this vibrant community, and we look forward to working together to build a better future for the blockchain industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that is it for the March edition of the Polkadot Community Call. I'd like to thank everyone that tuned in, and if you by chance tuned in late, no worries. This call is made available directly after this recording for the next 30 days on our Twitter. You can also find it on YouTube as well. I'd also like to thank our speakers that joined us today and took time out of their very busy schedules. That is Council Member Raul, that is Tomas from OriginTrail, that is Alan Vey from Aventus, Alexi from Interlay, Hutch and Bob from Zeitgeist, Aziz from StellaSwap, and Jamie from Web3 Go. Thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you all again on the April edition of the Community Call next month. Thanks.